If you need to write a logline for your screenplay or novel, this video is for you. First, we'll define logline. Take a look at some examples, and discover how you can write your own. Did you know that the average person has an attention span of only 8 seconds? Less than a goldfish. That's why you need a logline for the story you're writing. A logline is a quick 1 or 2 sentence summary of your book or movie. It's what you use to hook someone. It's basically your elevator pitch or your first impression. And, did you know that having a rough logline helps you stay focused while writing a story? It's like having a little roadmap that guides you through the writing process, helping you write better stories faster. So let's take a look at some movie loglines. Here's a logline for the original Matrix. It packs a whole lot of important story elements into a deceptively simple line. It conveys who the story's about, what he's doing, the movie's conflict, the story's vibe, and its antagonist, all in a single sentence. So now let's break down what makes a logline great. There are 5 basic elements you should try to include in your logline. A unique character, which is your protagonist. What's at stake for that character? What are their specific goals? Hint at the main conflict. And finally, your story's hook or theme. Finding the right combination of these elements will help you write a logline that shares the emotional core of your story. Packing all of these elements into a logline might seem challenging, but there are 2 ways you can do it. You can write it yourself, or you can use your new secret weapon, Writing Ninja. In this fun and creative suite of writing tools, you just play around, answering a few questions about your story, and then, with just the click of a button, it gives you a bunch of versions, each one conveying the essence of your story. Then you have tons of options you can choose from. It's that easy. Whoa, that was close. So now let's dive into how to write a great logline. First, you have to tell us who this story's about. So let's introduce your protagonist. Who is the hero of your story? Your logline will often start with a description of your main character. It can be a character's name, like Chief Brody, but more often it's a brief description. So either a short 2 to 3 word phrase like headstrong police chief, or something longer like a police chief with a phobia for open water. Then you should hint at your story's conflict. Your logline should also include the main conflict your protagonist faces. What's standing in your character's way? What happens to make their life more difficult? Who or what is trying to stop them on their journey? In Jaws, the conflict begins when a killer shark starts hunting on Amity beaches. Next, what's at stake for your character? By the end of your story, what do they have to lose? What's the worst possible thing that could happen to your main character? If there are no consequences, then you have no tension, and that means a boring logline. So what's at stake for Chief Brody? The lives of his family and the townspeople of Amity Island. Next, share your main character's goals. Make sure your main character has a clear goal. What do they want? Why do they want it? You want to allude to what drives your story forward in your logline. For Chief Brody, the goal is to hunt down the shark, so he needs to gather a small team to track and kill it. And finally, what makes your story unique? Try to convey your story's hook, genre, tone, or theme. Using any of these elements will share the vibe of your story.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
You have no story without a killer shark who terrorizes a seaside town. That's the hook. Jaws is a monster story, with a man-eater who causes chaos, which is the tone of the story. So let's put all of these elements together in the logline for Jaws. When a killer shark unleashes chaos on a beach community off Cape Cod, it's up to a local sheriff, a marine biologist, and an old seafarer to hunt the beast down. Pretty good, but how about we put it through Writing Ninja and get some other versions? Oh nice, there's a lot of good ones here. Let's take a closer look at the second one and break it down. We start with the antagonist. Then there's the story's conflict, followed by the protagonist, and a couple of other characters that convey the story's vibe. And finally, the main goal of the story, all in one evocative line. And, did you notice, there aren't any specific stakes included in this version?
Hang on.
Hey,
What
about
about
us?
Saving Brody's family and the townspeople isn't specifically spelled out in this version of the logline, but it's implied. Which is fine, because there are no absolute rules on how to convey the emotional core of your story. You have to kinda just feel what works for you and your logline. But remember, if you want to make logline writing easier, you can use Writing Ninja's Logline Generator. It's just one of over 50 writers' tools in our story development platform. So if you want to spark your creativity and make it really easy to create professional quality stories, grab a free account and give Writing Ninja a try.